One-on-one with Brandon Smith.
Now that matchup in the middle of your screen. Might be the
right
slightest of touches there, but certainly nothing that's impeding the receiver. Well thrown ball from Jennings, and Rainey's got a great shot at it.
Again, Huffnagel 5 of 12 on challenges this season. Bit of hand jabbing there from Smith, but
there was no grab, and there's not enough contact, if any.
Certainly a catchable ball. They're getting a lot of looks back at the command center.
You got his hand up.
And they're looking at it on the big screen here too. Chris Rainey out of Florida. Played with the Alouettes last year. A good find for the BC Lions this season. Still awaiting the verdict here. This will be overturned. Call is DPI, defensive pass interference. Ball placed at the 1-yard line.
Again, we've seen Chris Rainey such a factor on special teams for the BC Lions down the stretch. They're trying to find ways to get him a little bit more involved offensively.
Review, the ruling on the field is overturned. It's an incomplete pass.
Well, that is a good
second
challenge.
Down on the 17-yard line.
Huffnagel saw nothing from his vantage point. Then it was confirmed on the big screen and confirmed back at CFL command. So instead of the 1-yard line, back to the 17 they go. It'll be second down and 10.
As you said, a very good challenge there for John Huffnagel, and good coverage on the play by Brandon Smith as he's rewarded.
5 minutes to go, opening quarter. Just a single point on the board so far. Jennings takes the snap now. Little check down to Andrew Harris. Harris plowing forward. Looks like a 9-yard gain. This is going to depend on the spot. We'll see if this will be a first down, whether they will go first and goal. It's not. It'll be third down and a long one. Decision time here for Jeff Tedford and the BC Lions.
Nice execution on the play as the secondary blitz was coming. Brandon Smith, the halfback, was blitzing on the play. Andrew Harris let him go, just slipped into the space vacated by that halfback for the screen. BC opting to take
the points. Richie Leone coming out, a little chip shot. So they ate up a lot of the clock here against the wind, remember.
Tough angle for Leone here on a short field goal from the half.
Near the 16-yard line, there's the angle for Leone, who puts it through, and the BC Lions are on the board. Not much offense early on here. 3-1 Lions.
Hi, I'm...
Do not be denied of what we want, what we came here to get.
Yeah, boy.
Play together, one play at a time. One play again. Now, understand it's windy out there. The ball may bounce different ways, so we got to always be heads up, right? Yep. Always keep your head on a swivel to what's going on. All right? Take the fight to them right now. Good decisions. Out hit them, out hustle them, out execute them. Let's get this thing done. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah!
Time to go out and play championship football. Okay? The recipe doesn't change. Okay? Playing with great effort, emotion, and execution. Okay? Playing with discipline. Great ball security. Great tackling, great ball security and discipline, and being the more physical team. If you do all of that and handle whatever adversity may arise with poise, you will win this game. Win this game, man. Let's go.
Well, two inspiring speeches from two guys who used to coach together here in Calgary, and John Hufnagel and Jeff Tedford. Sky Dawson began the season with the Edmonton Eskimos. Down here in Calgary now, up near the 35-yard line. Interesting to know in those speeches how much talk there was about execution and ball security. Those are all playoff terminologies.
Yeah, big things at any point in the year, but obviously it all becomes a little more magnified as you hit the postseason. For John Hufnagel, obviously a guy who's been through these wars many times in the Canadian Football League, a head coach here in Calgary since 2008. Jeff Tedford, he's been in plenty of big bowl games during his college coaching career, but his first game as a head coach in the Canadian Football League today.
Here's the heat again, and overshooting the back out of the field, Jerome Messam once again is Bo Levi Mitchell. With an injury update on the sideline for us today is Farhan Lalji. Farhan.
Thanks, Rod. We saw earlier Pierre Lavertu walking to the Stampeders locker room with an apparent right hamstring injury. Now, they may MRI him because there's a machine close by to determine whether or not it's torn. But right now, he was in a lot of discomfort going off. It took a while before they were able to actually evaluate him, but doesn't look like we'll see him until, at the very least, the second half. So Quinn Smith now in along the offensive line with Spencer Wilson to center.
Thank you so much, Farhan. There is Wilson. Bo Mitchell, very subpar start here, 1 for 4, and that looked like it hopped. There's a penalty flag over near the 40-yard line as well, so incomplete pass and a penalty intended for Eric Rogers. 3 minutes to go, opening frame. This is a Calgary Stampeder team that notoriously have been slow starters.
Offside. Calgary, number 80. That penalty's declined. It will be third down.
Just one quarter where the differential is in the negatives for the Calgary Stampeders. That's quarter number 1 at -21. They have only scored 1 touchdown on an opening series all season long, and that number may be a little overinflated sometimes statistically, but the bottom line is this is a team also that's 14-4, and again another penalty flag. It is not how you start, it is how you finish.
Well, this is a game, though, given the wind, you want to start better.
Calgary, number 94. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Calgary Stampeders are in a situation where BC chose an end as a result of the coin toss, and BC actually won the toss, deferred the way things played out. Calgary chose to take the ball to receive. BC chose to defend an end. So BC chose the wind in the second quarter. So Calgary with the win, they got to try and make hay here a little bit in the first half. BC's winning in time of possession and obviously in yardage and score, most importantly.
Here's Rainey splitting a seam now and near the 32-yard line. So up comes 24-year-old Jonathan Jennings. Wasn't even a household name in his own household a few months ago, but in BC he is now, and his coach says he's grown in front of everyone.
He possesses a lot of poise. That's one thing about Jonathan. He prepares very well. He's confident in what he does. He's very humble, very focused. But I think every time he takes the field, it's the same approach. He doesn't get too high or too low. He's got more experience under his belt, understands what the game's all about, and looking for a good game from him.
He has been impressive. Jonathan Jennings out of Saginaw Valley State, Division II team in Michigan. Last playoff game was 2 years ago as senior in college. Reverse to Burnham.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves with regard to Mr. Jennings. They're the numbers over the last 7 games among Canadian Football League quarterbacks. You've got a bunch of other guys right below him. Each one of them his team's nominee as most outstanding player, yet it's Jonathan Jennings who leads the way in touchdown passes during that stretch.
Chatting with him yesterday, you really get a sense of how he is not intimidated by this environment. Very poised. 2nd and 8. Chucks it out, and this is picked off. And Keon Raymond is going to score. Touchdown, Calgary. we just showed you the graphic of Jonathan Jennings and his touchdown passes. This was a touchdown pass, but to the wrong uniform.
Well, Keon Raymond is a veteran guy who has a knack for big plays at big times. And here he's in coverage on Burnham, and this is a ball Brian Burnham's got to catch. He's got just a little bit of separation, but that one bobble allows the ball hawk, Keon Raymond, to make a play. 4 interceptions for him this season, 1 fumble recovery.
That's the second that he's taken back to the house in 2015. 1 in the regular season, now 1 in the playoffs. This is a team that constantly goes for the 2-point convert. They will again. Mitchell throws. Not this time, though. So a pick 6 from Keon Raymond.
Hey, domination on 3. 1, 2, 3.
First team to the end zone. They drink it up on the sideline.
And we'll take a look back. Brian Burnham's the number 3 receiver on this one. He's running that out route, timing route. Keon Raymond times that break perfectly, and the bobble of the ball plays out perfectly for the Stampeder linebacker. But he may have even gotten a hand in there.
38-yard interception for a touchdown. Kahari Jones, who's been through many of these playoff games as a player, now as a coach, talking with his young quarterback right now, and you don't even have to have subtitles to know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah, just trying to get things settled down.
I love you. I love you, Mama. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. That's what I do, baby. My house. That's what I do.
He has done that a lot. Keon Raymond, one of the best ball-hawking linebackers around. So, final minute of this first quarter. The Stampeders do score with the wind, but their defense does the scoring. Raining, spinning, knocked down at the 20-yard line. Let's go down once again to the coach, Mike Benavides.
Guys, the Calgary Stampeders needed a boost. They needed a little juice, and that was a huge play. What the Stampeder defense is doing is really taking a look at his stare, being the quarterback Jennings, and they're doing a great job jumping around. Should have been picked earlier on by McDonald, and that was a huge play. Every time we played these guys, we said, watch out for Raymond. He's a game changer.
A guy with a great nose for the football, as we mentioned. You know, Mike talked about the near pick by Brandon McDonald. That was on the first pass of the game, thrown by Jonathan Jennings out to the flat on the boundary side. And it was one where Lavelle Hawkins made a catch. McDonald gambled on it and didn't quite get there, as Hawkins turned it into a nice gain. But Jennings taking some chances, throwing into tight windows, and that time Keon Raymond made him pay.
Long field now for the BC Lions. Harris. You know, you look at how this has all changed. Keon Raymond with the pick 6 and that successful challenge as well. And Raymond has had a bullseye on the BC Lions.
Well, he's had maybe the one guy in the league who's had Jonathan Jennings' number early in his career. Remember, Jennings came off the bench, played the second half of that game against Calgary back in September. Threw 3 picks in that game. Number 25 was on the receiving end of 2 of them.
Could be the final play, barring penalty in this first quarter. Jennings is snuffed out by Micah Johnson with the sack. That is quarter number 1. It'll be 3rd down. The Lions will kick when they change sides. They'll have the wind. Big play so far from Keon Raymond. Pick 6. This Western semifinal. Winner moves north to Edmonton next week. Don't judge a score sometimes by those inner statistics. Look at that. -1 passing for Calgary, with 7-3 as a score because of that key turnover. A successful challenge as well by the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, and obviously that's one that changed a likely touchdown into a field goal for the BC Lions. BC with Jonathan Jennings at quarterback and the things they did defensively, a very good job in the first quarter. A quarter played against the wind. You want to eat up time. They doubled Calgary in terms of time of possession. You need those drives. You try to take care of the football. They kept Calgary off the field. You saw Bo Levi Mitchell with -1 passing yard with the wind through the first quarter of this football game. So if not for Gamble throwing that out route where Keon Raymond made him pay, all good. But nonetheless, it shows you how mistake-free, how perfect you have to be against the Calgary Stampeders, that with so few mistakes, they're still down 7-3 after 15 minutes.
Richie Leone, who leads the CFL in punts over 50 yards. Picked up, scooped up by Sky Dawson. And then it dropped downfield, 57-yard boot from Leone with the win. So Bo Levi Mitchell, his passing numbers, -1 yardage right now, but the benefit of his defense scoring. Stampeders leading 7-3 here early second quarter.
And for Bo Levi Mitchell, again, the West Division finalist for most outstanding player this season, 13-4 record as a starter. We'll look to see him get the ground game going here as he starts the second quarter going into the breeze.
Handed off to double threes. The bulldozer, Jerome Messam, and a penalty flag on the other side. A lot of penalties so far. This Calgary team, by the way, the least penalized team in the CFL. BC middle of the pack.
Major foul, face mask, BC number 53. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Alex Bazzi got a grip on the grill.
Take a look, Bazzi, right in the middle of your screen and on the tackle, reaching with that right hand, catches the face mask. Bazzi, a big part of that D-line rotation. He's had 4 sacks over the last few weeks to finish with the team lead and 8 on the season.
With the penalty, 23 net yards. There's a little confusion there for Bo Mitchell. Chased down by Alex Hoffman-Ellis. Knocks him out of bounds. Bo Levi Mitchell, the Western Division most outstanding player candidate. He would win hands down if not for Henry Burris.
Yeah, the remarkable season of Henry Burris, but Bo Levi Mitchell, over 4,500 passing yards this year. Seems like he's become such a fixture at quarterback for the Stampeders. It's hard to imagine that this guy is only 25 years old.
Second down and 8. All began last year for Bo Mitchell taking over the reins of the Stampeders. No quarterback in CFL history has had a better start after 34 games. 28-6, and Messam plows forward. First down inside the 30-yard line. 10-yard pickup.
Now, this is an element of Jerome Messam's game that the Calgary Stampeders really like. A guy somewhat underrated as a receiver early in the season with Saskatchewan. He was actually among the league leaders in this category, and a player who's very capable of making big plays out of short passes.
An ideal situation for the Stampeders, able to pick him up from Saskatchewan on deadline day. Bo Mitchell throws now, end zone, has a man. Again into the breeze, has not been able to connect with Eric Rogers yet. They connected a lot in the regular season.
Well, they certainly did. Eric Rogers is the Canadian Football League's leading receiver in terms of yardage, over 1,400 yards for him, the most targeted among the Calgary receivers. Not bad for a guy. A late season addition last year. Demonstrated he was ready for full-time duty this year and has not disappointed.
So second down, throwing down again for Mitchell and the Stamps. Bo, wide open is Rogers. Has his first catch of the 2015 playoffs.
Well, Rogers does a nice job here recognizing coverage as he curls in. You see Hoffman-Ellis on the left side of the screen. Squeezes in towards the middle of the pattern, leaving Eric Rogers on his route on the outside wide open, so he keeps it wide, maintains his space for an easy completion for Mitchell.
15-yard gain. Here's their red zone production this season, the Calgary Stampeders. third best in the CFL. Messam cuts back now. Gain of 2.
Well, even though Kareem Smith didn't make the tackle on that play, he does a nice job making sure he gets upfield. He's as deep as the ball carrier. He's got contained position. He forces Messam back to the inside, where he's got a little bit of help coming from the cavalry on this play.
Stampeders' last 12 trips to the red zone have resulted in 9 TDs late in the season. Trying to punch it home again. And they will. Touchdown, Rodgers. Signal was a touchdown right at the goal line. Eric Rodgers, who had 10 majors in 2015, his first of this year's postseason.
Ball just needs to break the front plane of that goal line. We'll take a look here.
Does. Good call right on that line. And
Eric Fraser just a split second late arriving.
they will review every scoring play. That's what they're doing
Previous
right now.
scoring play is under review by the command center.
How about Eric Rodgers, though? This is a guy who came into this lineup last year, late in October, played a couple of games, went to the playoffs, ended up in the Grey Cup game, had some key catches, and then torched the CFL this season.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
He has been the touchdown maker for the Calgary Stampeders. You look at last season, 4 touchdowns in just a handful of games for him late last year. Got off to a torrid start this year. Cooled down a little bit through mid-season. Obviously looking to pick back up the pace here.
Again, going for 2. And it is caught. Anthony Parker with a great catch for the 2-point convert on a bullet from Bo Levi Mitchell.
Anthony Parker had a big game last week in that season finale against BC. Nice catch against tight coverage there.
Let's see if this is a catch right here. Great angle.
Looks like the arm stays underneath the ball.
So they'll review that as well, but I think that's 2 points for Anthony Parker. Calgary Stampeders have turned this thing around completely. Bo Mitchell and Eric Rodgers combined. 2-pointer again for Parker. 15-3 Stampeders win. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. A little harsh entry into the neighborhood this time, but he's visited it 11 times in 2015. 10 in the regular season, now once in the postseason. I'm sure a shout out to his mom, Carrie, who is. They do a little cussing back and forth. His mom's his biggest critic.
Make sure you guys wear a mask. A little trash talk. Mom likes, when she knows he's okay, she likes to see him take the on hit every now and then. Tells him you needed that.
Down in Southern California, now Rainey being swarmed by black and red jerseys. Penalty flag near the 28-yard line. So now it really is up to the BC Lions to have